Hello and happy gaming, everyone. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I hope you all had a happy holiday. It's a bit belated, but let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody, and anyone who didn't celebrate Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it might be, happy holidays. Anyone who isn't okay with that, leave me the fuck alone, okay? This is supposed to be a time of celebration, joy, and cheer. I am not interested in the personal politics behind the holidays. Let's just all have fun and get together. But now that the holidays are over, it's time to get back to business as usual. For what it's worth, most of yesterday was spent with family and friends, and it was just a glowing good time, and I'm absolutely okay with that. I may not have gotten to produce a video, but that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy my day. I hope you all enjoyed your days. It was just a good holiday. So, what are we getting into business about here? Well, we're getting into business on taking on one of our usual whipping boys. And in this case, it's Google Stadia. My goodness, if there was a horse I could beat until it was any more dead, it would be a friggin' skeleton horse. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to talk about these things, and here's the latest one. Taken from a Forbes article, which I will link in the description. We apparently have 3 more or less new releases. I mean, iffy, but to be fair, this was released on the 18th, so things could be different by now. But I'm still going to report this as it's one of those things I wanted to talk about sooner and just didn't get a chance. Google Stadia is still a thing, now doing its best to recover from an awkward launch in November. Yeah, no kidding. I'd say awkward is the most charitable word for it. But we're moving along, and Google just released 3 new games for the service. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, that's your definition of new, huh? Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Hey guys, I have a really good idea. You see this game over here that no one asked for and no one wants? How about we put it on a service that has objectively worse technicals, input lag, and even more problems than the consoles? That's a great idea! Alright! That's basically adding a trash fire to a dumpster fire and getting a landfill blaze. And Borderlands 3. We're here to talk about the last one. While Borderlands 3 is currently available on Stadia, it's not the same game that people play on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. So what could possibly be different? I mean, if it's Borderlands 3, it's Borderlands 3, right? Hey, maybe something... Oh, no, not quite. It's the game as of October 24th, before a ton of other balance tweaks, content drops, and patches. Basically, Borderlands 3 is a better game now than it was on October 24th, as is the way with post-content updates. Just not on Google Stadia. Are we really surprised at this point? We're now seeing a point where Gearbox and Randy Pitchford themselves has decided, who cares about the Google Stadia launch? Let's just put something on there and call it good. Like, is that really what's looking good enough to you, Google? Is that the developers putting their best foot forward for Google Stadia? It's an especially bizarre mishap because one of the main selling points for Google Stadia is that you never have to download patches. Your game is stored on the server and it's always up to date with no downloads of any kind. Good job, Google. And I guess you still don't have to download any patches for Borderlands 3 in this case. The memes write themselves. You never have to download any patches, it seems to say, if there are no patches to download. Correct. And to me, this is one of the strangest problems that Google Stadia has, and it's not even that it's, Google Stadia. It's not even about the input lag or the huge data cap or huge data usage or anything like that. It's just that Gearbox themselves just don't give a damn. It's just a bad look overall when you're trying to build out the bold, new, seamless future of video games, and you do it with a whole bunch of giant, noticeable seams. I don't know what contract made it so Borderlands 3 came out in this condition, but it would have been a much better move to just wait until Gearbox could push the most recent build and then release it then. This half measure just doesn't look good. No kidding, it doesn't look good. The fact of the matter is, I'm not sure if this is something that's on Google's end or if it's on Gearbox's end. If it's on Google's end, then it's very clear that they just didn't give a shit. They just wanted something on the platform, and they were willing to take whatever they could get. In this case, Borderlands 3 circa October 24th. If this is on Gearbox's end, then yeah, it could just be that they don't give a shit about pushing the most recent product. But my guess is they also just, well, maybe not even also, but it could just be that they don't give a damn about Google Stadia. I mean, that seems pretty likely when you take a look at the numbers. Hold on, Borderlands 3. Yeah, player count. Here we go. So, what are we looking for? Looking for active players across all platforms. So where do I go to? I could be doing this somewhere else, but whatever. But the fact of the matter is, if the numbers that I had seen a while ago are still relevant, then what we're looking at is that Borderlands 3 on Stadia has maybe 5-10% of the player base of the other platforms, and that's a generous number. It's absolutely ridiculous. And actually, no, the numbers that I saw were for Destiny 2, but considering that Destiny 2 was available at launch and for free on Google Stadia, the numbers there do seem to show more so what we're talking about. It shows just how many people have ownership of a Google Stadia that they're actively using. There we go. Yeah, Destiny 2 player count. Yes, people do still play Destiny 2. But what I'm looking for is the Destiny 2 player counts in comparison to what they're like on Stadia. What's funny is that I'm actually on Google right now looking up Destiny 2 player count, and Stadia isn't even a thing until I actually factor it in. Here we go. And this is according to PC Games. 0.7% of daily Destiny 2 players are on Stadia. So that's not looking good. According to this, let's see, a complete edition of Destiny 2 comes bundled with the Stadia Pro subscription, which is included with every Stadia package since the platform's launch. It is, effectively, the streaming service's flagship launch title, but not many people are playing it, according to the latest Destiny 2 player count. Roughly 9,960 Stadia players logged into Destiny 2 on November 20th, according to the stat tracking. Oh, here we go. Maybe this will... Oh, let's open link in a new tab here. Oh, it's a Discord bot. Okay, well, that's not necessarily what I'm worried about. Let's see, but yeah, according to this article on PC Games, to the nth power, which I will link in the description as well, 9,960 Stadia players logged into Destiny 2 on November 20th. On the same day, 1.37 million players logged into Destiny 2 across all platforms, and 550,000 of those were on Steam. So you have, like, just... I don't even know where my phone is. Nah, fuck it. But you have less than 1% of Destiny 2 players on the Stadia. And that's supposed to draw our attention? Is this... Now, like I said, this is Google Stadia's big flagship title that they really wanted to push because they wanted to show that they could run with the big boys, that they could do the games right, do the games justice, that their game streaming wouldn't be a big issue, and yet no one wants to play it there. When you're talking about inferior visuals, like the input lag, inferior infrastructures, especially considering that they kept going on and on about having more power at their disposal than the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One combined, and you're pulling in these kind of numbers when you're showing that your launch day promises that the 4K 60 streaming experience that isn't there. You factor in the input lag, you factor in the huge data usage that Stadia is forced to make you deal with, and you've got just objectively the most inferior version of the game. And when you put all that together, yeah, it's no wonder that Gearbox and Randy don't really care about the Stadia release of Borderlands 3. They're getting more than enough out of what they've got going on PS4, Xbox One, and Epic Games, and I guarantee the Steam release will only make things better for them. But Stadia? Yeah, I get the feeling that this is something that they did just to fulfill a contract and nothing more. And I don't blame them. Stadia is pretty much just a garbage fire. It has been since launch, and it seems like it's going to continue to be. And yeah, it just got achievements, woot, but I don't think that's going to be enough to save it. You're talking about something that's been implemented on the other platforms for a long time now. I just don't see the appeal. I'm sorry. To those of you out there who defend Stadia, who are saying, I'm having a great time with it, what is this guy even talking about? You know, good for you for enjoying something, but don't expect everyone else to get on board with it just because you like it. And I can't say that I feel comfortable supporting something that is just objectively a worse experience for gamers than just having a good PC or a dedicated console. There is no shame in admitting that what you bought is a piece of crap, but it's a piece of crap that you're enjoying. Like I said many times, I've had plenty of experiences like that on my own. There are plenty of games out there that I really like, but I understand are not super, super great products. Like, not everything can be a Super Mario Odyssey. Not everything can be a Jedi Fallen Order. Not everything can be, like, a Dark Souls or a Code Vein. Some games are, your X-Blades or, things like that. Not every game needs to be a masterpiece, but it does need to be functional, and that's especially true when you're talking about an entire platform. And as a platform, Stadia is just failing to deliver. It's just objectively the worst way to play games. I just don't have any kinder words to put it in. And I'm pretty sure Gearbox knows that, and that's why the version of Borderlands 3 that's there is months out of date. Now, to be fair, this is coming a good little while after the fact here, since I got delayed in making this video. So there's a good chance that it might be up to date by now, but I haven't necessarily heard anything about it, so someone feel free to let me know in the comments, respectfully, of course. And yeah, if that is the case, then sure, I'll update it, but I'm not thinking that it's going to be anything that's going to drive anyone crazy. This isn't anything groundbreaking. It's just another sign that Stadia is just not where the future of gaming is. Maybe xCloud will make the whole game streaming thing run a little bit better. Maybe if nothing else, xCloud at least has a whole library of games to work with. But just as it stands right now, Stadia is will continue to be the dead horse that I beat until it becomes undead and then continue beating it. Until such time that it actually becomes viable for the average user, I'm sorry. It's got nothing. It's just got nothing. So, that's it for now. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to the channel to see more in the future. My birds would like to say good morning. And I will be back with more content in the near future. Until next time, my name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.